As far as traditional Western cartoons are concerned, Ben 10 is one of the most popular in recent years. The series premiered in December of 2005 with the original Ben 10 animated series and has continued to appear on television as far as late April of 2021, when the last special episode of the 2016 Ben 10 reboot aired. Ben 10 is ultimately a show about a boy who finds a piece of alien technology containing the DNA of different aliens, which allows him to transform into each of them. Over the years, the roster of aliens has changed, with only several aliens persisting through more than one iteration of the show. In this video, we are going to rank the 10 most powerful alien forms that Ben was able to transform into. But before we dive into it, we post power rankings like these every week, and if that's something you think you'll enjoy, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. Chromastone is just one of the few energy manipulating aliens on this list. He is essentially a conductor that can store and channel many types of energy, such as lasers, electricity, mana, and radiation to pass through his body harmlessly. Chromastone can absorb and dispel energy into ultraviolet rays powerful enough to melt a truck trailer and destroy an entire turret. He can fire these beams from his hands or the 9 shards on his body and can project these beams as energy blasts or projectiles. Chromastone can control the intensity of his energy attacks, and the amount of power his UV rays has depends on how powerful an opponent's attack energy is. This means that he can almost always outcompete his match. Big Chill has not only invulnerability, but also ice powers and flight. His only weakness was electricity. If Ben was fighting anyone who didn't have electric powers, he was fine. Not only that, but if they couldn't fly, Ben wouldn't have to be in the immaterial phase all the time. This means that any enemy like the Hybrid or even Vilgax would have stood no chance, as Ben could have just kept hitting them with ice over and over and wouldn't have to worry about taking a hit. Big Chill is almost unbeatable in combat, with the only problem being that Ben can't usually do long fights because of his time limit, but the Ultimate Alien Force Omnitrix and Ultimatrix were more tied to energy, or some vague construct of it. This is why I believe that Big Chill is most likely Ben's most versatile alien and might even be on par with the likes of Atomics. Gray Matter is easily one of the most powerful aliens in Ben's arsenal, except Ben never uses him to his full potential. Gray Matter is not a combat alien, he is a support alien. The basic intent is to use him before or after a battle to build weapons, strategize, and use his intelligence. Ben often turns into Gray Matter by accident. However, if Ben was smarter, he'd use Gray Matter more often. The little alien is akin to Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Gray Matter is weak, but because he's a Galvan, the smartest species in the galaxy, he can create various tools to help Ben and his partners compensate for his lack of physical ability. Of course, at the height of adolescence, Ben is an idiot, so he didn't think about using his aliens like this. Because of Ben's ignorance in the early stages of his career, he often doesn't use any aliens to their optimal abilities, and this is especially true for Gray Matter. Feedback might seem like some dumb black-bodied alien with plugs, but there's more to him than meets the eye. Feedback can consume energy from his opponents and direct it back at them. He can use this electricity to do whatever he wants, such as cause explosions, fly, create electric charges, and generate electric field waves. The alien also has impressive reflexes, can move at near light speeds along electrical lines, and can use radio waves to locate objects. Now, you might wonder why Feedback is on this list. His powers as described seem average. I used to think that myself up until I saw him hold an explosion as intense as the Big Bang with his own hands. His ability to withstand that just goes to show the kind of raw energy the alien is packing. What's more fascinating is the fact that it's the watch that automatically turned Ben into Feedback. The Omnitrix chose Feedback because it knew his absorption powers would be enough to stop the explosion from extending across the void. Imagine being so powerful that you have to be kept inside a suit for the safety of those around you. NRG is among the few aliens Ben 10 has who have to exercise their power with restraint. He comes from a species known as the Pripyatosian bee. Now, I know many may question his appearance on this list, but hear me out. I understand that energy is extremely limited in terms of what he can do while in the suit. However, the fact that he can leave the suit at will makes him a very dangerous opponent. The suit is but a containment to control the full flow of his powers. NRG can generate deadly energy blasts from the suit's openings, split radiation, and create both fire and heat. Outside the suit, he gains the power of flight and is basically unstoppable. He is able to consume energy, fire nuclear energy blasts, and generate light. You should also know that the more energy he consumes, the more powerful he becomes. With enough energy consumption, NRG can become more than just a planetary threat and is therefore not to be taken lightly. Ever heard of Ego, the living planet? Well, Gravit is somewhat similar to this celestial being. He is a Galilean originating from the Kepler's orbit and basically a living planet in his own right. Gravit takes the shape of a rocky being with noticeably gigantic teeth. His eyes are far-spaced and has the Omnitrix symbol ingrained on his forehead. Gravit makes the list for one unique ability which we'll see later on. But first, let's look at other things he can do. Gravit is a combination of gravity and attack. The alien is able to manipulate gravity by simply raising his hands. That means he can alter the movement and weight of objects by raising them in the air and rigorously crushing them down without touching them. Besides this, Gravit can levitate, generate force fields, and survive deep space. Although uncontrollable, Gravit has the ability to create a black hole. Imagine forging an object whose mass far exceeds that of the sun. One whose gravitational pull is unlike anything we've seen before. A pull that's so strong not even light can escape. A being with such capacity can literally change the course of a battle. Recognizable from his colossal size, protruding fin-like structures, and signature red and white color, Waybig is descended from a race of aliens known as Toka stars. These towering beings are said to be formed during astronomical storms. Apart from size, Waybig has heightened strength and durability. In his first appearance, we saw him grab Vilgax, one of Ben's most terrifying villains, and fling him into space with little to no effort. He went on to repeat the same later on against a giant Vilgax. Vilgax in the original run of the show was the only one remotely strong enough to dismantle every one of Ben's aliens, so seeing an alien that could beat him that easily was satisfying. However, I think using Vilgax wouldn't be the perfect example for measuring Waybig's strength. In an episode of Ben 10 Alien Force, we saw him lift a hyperspace jump gate that is said to weigh almost the same weight as the moon. Waybig also has heightened speed, heightened reflexes, and heightened agility and possesses the ability to generate a water vortex. But none of this would be complete without his cosmic rays. When Waybig crosses his arms, he generates powerful energy rays which can overpower his opponents. You have to admit that the ability to manipulate time will always be a game changer in battle. Clockwork, a Chronosapien, can alter time by slowing down his opponents and objects around him. This allows him to effortlessly dodge dangerous objects hurled at him. To Clockwork, it appears as if he just walks past them, but to others, he appears to be moving at incredible speeds. Clockwork also possesses the power to perceive time flow. This is popularly known as chronopathy. With such an ability, he can figure out the exact time and place of an incident. In addition to chronoception, Clockwork can also time travel and emit time rays. But I think that the mere fact that he can control a fundamental property of the universe is enough reason to grant him a spot on this list. As of today, Atomix's origin still remains a mystery. However, it has been stated that he is Ben 10's second most powerful alien. Such a bold statement coming from one of the directors of the show cannot be taken lightly. Atomix was originally named Asmuth. He is a green and white, human-like robotic being with the ability to create atomic blasts and nuclear explosions at will. He is basically a walking, talking nuclear bomb. He can deliver a powerful nuclear punch and kick capable of sending his opponents miles away and causing some severe damage. Atomix has been able to create a mini-star that obliterated Ziscare and even went toe-to-toe with negative Ultimate Humongosaur. At the moment, Alien X is Ben 10's most powerful alien. He comes from a species known as Celestial Sapiens. This race of aliens is essentially gods. Although their abilities are limitless, they spend most of their time debating. Alien X can warp reality with no difficulties whatsoever. He has the ability to create, entrap, or destroy anything in the universe. When Ben transforms into Alien X, he becomes the voice of reason between Bellicus, the voice of rage and aggression, and Serena, the voice of love and compassion. To utilize Alien X in battle, he has to convince them to agree with him or the alien would remain motionless and pretty much useless. Ben really does not have to worry about himself though, since even at that state, Alien X is virtually indestructible. His friends, however, would have to fight without his help. Ben refrains from using Alien X most of the time unless the situation calls for it. Alien X made his debut in Ben 10 Alien Force, where he was able to reverse time and prevent the destruction of a dam. However, he got to see the full extent of Alien X's abilities in Omniverse when we witnessed the destruction of the universe and Ben 10 used the power of Alien X to recreate it like it was child's play. So there you have it guys. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you enjoyed, consider subscribing to catch more content like this every week. Till next time.